One of the many unsuspecting added bonuses that I've learned from dot painting has been it really highlights how regulated or dysregulated my nervous system is. So if my nervous system is regulated, the dot placement and dot spacing will be effortless because I can just look at where I want to put it and it goes there. I don't have to think about it. It just flows and aligns, and it's the same with everything else being reflected in the physical experience as well. But if you ever want to check how regulated your nervous system is and you're not sure, you can always just grab a pen or a pencil or anything and see if you can hold it still. Like hold it at one end and see if you can hold it still. And if you can't hold it still, that's a really good sign that you're completely dysregulated, which can be, I mean, there's so many different labels for everything these days, but from my experience, anxiety, emotional dysregulation, hypervigilance, sensory overload, all of those labels are all exactly the same thing. It's just nervous system that is, not being regulated, which is a combination of the body mind soul connection and the emotional body, and obviously it also comes down to which patterns are active that are pulling you out of the present moment. So if you're thinking about the past and allowing the past to affect the present or the future, when we're not fully present in the moment, in the now, we'll often have those experiences. So in my past, I did have the experience of what people would typically label as panic attacks, and it was where I just was completely disconnected from my body and not being fully present in the moment. And the more I've learnt to just let go and stay focused in the now, I haven't had those experiences for a very long time, and I won't again, because I know how to regulate my nervous system now. And even just something as simple as just consciously breathing in and out and being aware of the breath and aware of the body. And especially if you can do something with the body, like, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's painting or drawing or even another really good practice is getting something and touching a part of your body, because when you're doing that, you'll feel what you're touching. Whereas if I was to do it with another hand, I've got the sensory input of the feelings of this part of the body, but then also this part of the body. So if you can do it with one thing and an innate object, you remove, half of the sensory input being sent elsewhere. And so the more you can connect to feeling the sensation of that feeling, but then doing it with adding another layer, you can actually change your point of focus. So you can change your point of focus in here to feel mostly in there, or mostly in here, or an even amount of both when you're doing both. And so that'll help you to bring more of your conscious awareness into the body, and the body is in the full present now moment. So it's the mind and the patterns and the emotions and all of the stories and all of the stuff that we can get caught up with in the past or in the future that changes our point of focus from the present moment. So yeah, just a couple of tips that I thought I would share and hopefully are useful. And also not identifying with particular issues, because when you give things a name and a label, that's when you incorporate it into a part of your being. So it will directly affect your entire being. So like if I was to like, I can say this because I don't believe it, but if I said and I believed that I suffer from anxiety or, anything like any of those type of labels, then I'm keeping that active in my energy field. And so I'm going to manifest those type of experiences. But what I've learned is everything is perception based. So we could have one experience which we think is one way, but then we later, through more conscious awareness of our human experience, we then eventually come to the conclusion and realize that the experience was based on our perception. So it wasn't even necessarily what we thought it was, but it was through the lens that we were experiencing life in that moment, which is always changing because change is the only constant in the human experience. Anyway, I hope that helps and have an incredible day.